Okay, Chapter 16, Lecture 3 for AP. This is the end of the chapter. In the mid-18th century wars, the War of Jenkins' Ear in 1739 was about a captain, English captain, who got his ear chopped off, and the English by the Spanish, and wanted to get revenge. The Spanish and English competition was in the West Indies, and the British declared war on Spain in 1739. It was a minor war, was opening to encounter European warfare up to 1815. 1815 is a magical date because it signals the end of the first semester. Now we have the War of Austrian Succession, which we've heard about in our projects that we've done before. It lasted from 1740 to 1748. It occurred in Central and Eastern Europe. Prussia invades Habsburg Silesia, which is a test question. France and Spain back to Prussia. England backs Austria. Maria Theresa maintains the Habsburg Empire as a major political power. Significant of Maria Theresa is that she is a female queen. It ended with the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle in 1748. Prussia retained Silesia. Spain renewed the Treaty of Utrecht with Britain so they could import slaves from the Spanish colonies. And here's a portrait of Maria Theresa. The diplomatic revolution of 1756, France and Britain clash in New England over colonies. Great Britain joins forces with Germany in the Convention of Westminster, and France and Austria agreed to the defensive alliance. 7 Years' War, this is very important, 1756 to 1763. You'll see that there's a magical date or a hub date is 1763. It's not a 1750 or a 725. It's an odd number. And so you want to keep in mind that the 7 Years' War ended in 1763 and what the outcome was. England now backs Prussia. France backs Austria. Colonial theater. And Britain trounces France in North America. And the Treaty of Paris made Britain into a world power throughout World War II. And that's the important part of the 7 Years' War. Here's a picture of that. Europe and the American Revolution. Resistance to imperial search for revenue, caused by problems of revenue collection, common to all powers after the 7 Years' War. So Britain spent a lot of money on the 7 Years' War. However, they needed to pay for it. And who are they going to collect the money from? The colonists, who were not so happy as to pay. The British tried to tax the colonies to pay for the war, and the colonies responded that they wouldn't be taxed without representation. Here's a map of the area. As you can see, the British have a huge area. The crisis in independence, colonies resisted several measures designed to raise money, including the Intolerable Acts. Thomas Paine's common sense aroused revolutionary sentiments. This is important because it's also in your test bank. Continental Congress declared the Declaration of Independence, which is another question in this chapter, where it says all men are created equal. Influenced by John Locke and written by Thomas Jefferson. Here's an example of a British official that was trying to tax being tarred and feathered. There's a picture there of the Revolutionary War. American political ideas, which were influenced by Europe. Influence of English ideas and events in America. The Revolution of 1688, if you don't recall, that's the Glorious Revolution, and the writings of John Locke, which believed in natural rights. Events in Great Britain. The John Wilkes affair, arrested after criticizing the treaty with France in print, elected several times to Parliament, but the king would not sit him. The influence of American ideas and events in Britain is the appeal to popular opinion, broadly rejected a monarchy, social hierarchies. The Yorkshire movement demanded changes in parliamentary elections. The broader impact of the American Revolution is it demonstrated to Europe the possibility of a government without kings. The United States was formed without a king, it was formed without a president specifically. The idea of preserving traditional liberties and rejection of social status. And that is the end of this lecture.